wanted to show you some tips on how to fix your vacuum if it is not sucking properly or not sucking at all. I'm using a Bissell Power Force Helix, just like a $60 vacuum I got at Walmart. I have 3 dogs, so lots of vacuuming in this house. Anywho, of course you want to make sure that you're emptying the tank often. Okay, baby. Okay. You want to make sure you're emptying this tank often. The most of them have a full line. Now these tips I'm going to show you guys today, it does not have to be this particular vacuum. This should be pretty standard on all vacuums that don't have a bag. So again, empty this frequently. What I did was I took the hose off my vacuum and I noticed the hose had suction, and then the stuff inside here was blowing around when I was using the hose, but when I would stick this back on and try to vacuum just without the hose, this stuff wasn't moving around and it seemed like there was no suction. Of course, first thing you want to check is if your belt is good. So you're going to want to flip the vacuum on its side, on its back, doesn't matter. And you're going to want to make sure while the vacuum's on that this is spinning, that your belt is good. So I did check my belt. My belt is fine. Next thing I did after I made sure my belt was still good was I wanted to clean my filters. I didn't necessarily think this was the issue because I figured stuff would still be moving around in here at least a little bit. But like I said, I have 3 dogs, so it's about time to clean the filters. So I took this all apart. Clearly I didn't do that good of a job, but like I said, this is standard. All vacuums that don't have a bag will have some sort of filter like this that should be washable. But now you can tell this was nasty. I took this outside, I hosed it off, I let it air dry, and you want to make sure this foam pad before you stick it back in the vacuum is completely dry. So you just pop that back in, and you guys can see that took me just a couple of seconds to get this open. So you're going to put it back together. Now I cleaned that up, which again, you're going to want to do this pretty often. I mean, not as often as you want to empty this, but I'd say once every couple months at least. So got that back on and all clean and everything, and it still was not sucking properly. And like I said earlier, the hose was working fine. The hose had just regular suction, so I figured it had to be somewhere between the hose and the vacuum. So I turned it over. Oh, sorry. So I turned it over and I just started looking. Now I have no experience with this kind of thing. I just wanted my vacuum to work, so I started poking around, and I figured after I fixed it that I would show you guys, hoping that maybe I'll help at least one other person out there from having to go to the store and buy a new vacuum. So anywho, I took this guy off and just the regular hose, and just make sure this is cleaned out. I did pull quite a bit of dog hair out of here, so I started there. Now the next thing was this guy. So I grabbed a screwdriver and I stuck the screwdriver down in there, and I could tell there was something in there blocking that. So I got a flashlight, and sure enough, there was a whole bunch of dog hair compact in here, and I thought what was a sock wasn't a sock. I'll show you guys in just a second. But there is, I don't know if you can see on here. Let me bring you a little bit closer. There is one single screw on here. I'm going to use a flathead because that is what I have. And boom. All I did was I took the long screwdriver and I kind of poked around in there. And you guys, I literally held up my vacuum like this and just kind of shook it and let that hose come out a little bit. See? I'm just going to show you here for a second so you guys can kind of see what I did. But I went like this. And I just bashed the hose on the ground like that, okay? There might be an easier way to do that, I'm sure. But you guys, look what came out of there. As you could see, like, this dog hair was jammed in there so tightly And I believe this is what was blocking it all. So, got that all cleaned out and, of course, tighten that screw back on. Oh, that's here. I'm just put on there. Make sure it's nice and sturdy. And you're good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped at least one person. And if you guys are still here, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of all things 8A, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, bye guys.
All things 8A.